What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of whatever this is. Basically just getting ready for nationals, and this is a training log. So unsurprisingly, training went really well again. I know, again, I kind of sound like a broken record, but things are feeling really good, still feeling pretty strong, keeping fatigue at bay as well as I can anyways, and keeping the intensity rather high and the volume not quite so high has been really productive this training block for me. So I started off day one with some equipped squats up to 357.5. This day, I think I really finally got my depth dialed in with the suit straps being taken in and the hips taken in. I think the previous week, I did have some issues kind of finding my position in the bottom. And this day, actually, my wife, Selena, who is the biggest critic of my depth every time, she comes in, she lifts with me, and then sticks around to make me feel bad if I don't hit depth. She was saying I probably could have cut these even a little bit higher. So that was really good to hear from somebody who's so critical of my training. So I feel really good about that. I feel like things are dialed in. The 340 was so easy. And that 340 to 345 range is starting to feel pretty reasonable on my back. So I think that's gonna be about opener territory for me. I'm hoping to go, up to, my best in the suit is 372.5. I'm hoping to go, 375, 380 on the day if it's there. This past week, well, we'll get into that next week anyways. And then I worked up to 305 for 5, and that was pretty easy. It felt really, really good. Another, like I say every week, I really like those sets of 5. So. Bench this day was unbelievably good. Everything just moved and sunk right where it needed to, popped up. I can't remember if this is the day where I misgrooved a rep or not. The sort of chronology of these videos being filmed the week after the training and subsequently also after my lifting this week, it just gets confusing. But I did 227, 232, and 237. And 237 is probably 12 kilos over where I'm gonna open. So being able to move that the way I did, things moved well. It's probably about an 8.5, maybe 9 RPE there, but with the bench shirt, it's tough to get real 8, you know what I mean? Like an 8 in a bench shirt a lot of times isn't gonna be something that you can hit 3 reps at per se, but it's gonna be something that's maybe an 8 out of 10 in terms of how challenging it was, thinking about how much more load you could put on the bar. It's a little bit different because you have that window, and it changes depending on the shirt and how far the bar is going down, whether or not you're getting a touch or ghost boarding. You have that window in a shirt of weight that's heavy enough that you can touch it, but light enough that you can still press it. Now, for somebody who that window is really small, their competition bench singles are probably not gonna be, like, you're not gonna be tripling anything in a tight shirt. So, you kind of have to take that into account when you're rating your RPs. Anyways, that went really well. And then I hit 220 for a set of 5. I think it was 217.5 that day. Yeah, 217.5 that day. Because I hit 220 this most recent week. Moving on, deadlifts day 2. Also big win there. 365, feeling like an opener, which I think is gonna be around opener territory, maybe 360. Everything's boogieing, nice long hold with 375 on the hook grip. Nothing giving way, no issues with lockout, no balance issues this training block, which a lot of times in the suit can be really tough to kind of catch the balance and not be too far forward or backward at lockout. So again, happy to see that. 335 for a set of 5, which is again getting up into that sort of best ever set of 5 territory, which, like I said last week, is usually a pretty good indicator of where my top end strength is at. Day 3, again, my sort of big raw day of the week. This day was really great. I worked up to a set of 5 on my raw squat at 245, and it's really encouraging to see things getting back into where I was when I was at my strongest. I'm not in any pain squatting currently, and I think a lot of that has to do with the decrease in volume, the decrease in the overall amount of work that I'm doing. So I'm able to push the intensity a little bit harder, and just kind of go up to a top set, 1 low drop, done. And that seems to be really, really effective for my squat. My bench, on the other hand, we've been doing almost the opposite strategy, just, you know, starting at a set of 8 and just hammering triples. I think I usually end up with 6 or 7 sets of triples by the end of the day. Got up to 152.5, kept everything right in that sort of good RPE velocity range, like that 0.2 is usually my cutoff, where I'm trying to keep everything moving fast enough on this day, keep everything around an 8, starting at a 7.5 RPE and then, you know, climbing up through the repeats there. Day 4 against chains, decided to stop trying to be a hero, didn't miss any reps, which is fantastic, but just dialed that progression back like I talked about last week, made sure that I was hitting reps at the RPs that I wanted. So I got 310 for a single at an 8 and 280 for a set of 4. And the set of 4 is not too far removed from where I was. I think I otherwise would have been up closer to 290, but the 310 is a far cry from where I was aiming previous in this block. And again, I think I just kind of overshot. Needed to be a little more realistic. I did, however, hit a really big PR on the mid-range pin press, which, as I watched the video back, is like a 1 board. So it's really encouraging to be hitting these kind of weights that close to the chest. But I got up to 192.5 kilos for a single, which is 10 kilos over my best comp bench PR. Now I know, obviously, you know, that bottom range of motion's where it kills you, and they're, you know, it's not paused or anything like that, but still, again, really encouraging to see my raw strength doing quite well this training block. After that, did some front squats up to 170, which is good. 170 for 6 total reps. We got that 30-second rest thing going on in there. But that's the week. So the next week is gonna be where I kind of really push things. At the time of this recording, I'm done the heaviest stuff of that week. But I'm gonna be looking at an 800-pound squat. I'm gonna be looking at benching 240 kilos, which is just up over 500 pounds, maybe 520 or so. And I'll tell you guys about those next week. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in. Nationals is gonna be March 8th. I compete at 5 p.m. Ottawa time. I will be posting some links to the live stream on the Calgary Barbell page and my personal page and all that kind of stuff. We'll let you guys know where you can tune in and watch if you're so inclined. And we're also gonna be doing question of the week. And this week, on Wednesday, we're gonna be talking about who should be looking for a coach. Last week, we talked about what to look for in a coach. Now we're gonna talk about who should be looking for a coach and how to know whether you should be in the market for some coaching or not. That's about it for me, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.